We're live.
What's going on, guys? You talked while I was saying it.
It's my fault.
You fucking bitch. Mm.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. You bowed down to me, peasant. Anyway, what's going on, guys? This is chapter 1122.
Yay!
I'm Brady. This is Ethan. Say hi, Ethan.
Hello.
And then say hi, Joseph.
Hello.
We just found out about the sound effects. Okay, we didn't talk about the chapter. We're gonna
Okay,
sit
so
here and
like
play with the sound effects.
Before we actually start getting into it, I just want to like mention one part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kobe's fucking high. That's all I gotta say.
Kobe got
Kobe
that
is the
amnesia.
most clown person in this chapter. Like I actually am starting to dislike him for what he said here. Like I don't like him anymore.
It's
like
setting
that
up
one
for
thing
the last little bit, but like it's such
that
an
one
odd
thing
place
he said.
thing.
That one thing he said is just it's like Tashigi. Like Tashigi's like, I'm gonna collect all the swords of all of the evil swordsmen. Like that's just not fucking happening.
No.
So like Kobe is just a dumbass in this chapter, and it makes me hate him. Like
Okay.
I was already clowning him when he did Honesty Impact. Like
No, that was a great attack though. It was just a terribly named attack.
the name though, like
That's what I'm saying. The
clown.
name was terrible.
Honesty Impact.
Honesty Impact.
Like Galaxy Impact went crazy, but Honesty Impact.
It doesn't hurt to be kind.
All right, do you want me to read the chapter like as we go and we'll talk about the chapter, or how do we want to do it?
It doesn't matter. I mean, the chapter starts off with the fate of the world depends on pirates. Whoa.
Whoa.
What does that mean?
What island are they on here? I can't tell.
That's Dressrosa. You talking about the
For-
first panel?
Yeah, for real?
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
because the Tontata
Oh, I
on the
see it.
shoulder.
I see it at the top now. Yeah,
You
I do.
didn't recognize the architecture? What are you, not a true fan?
And then the second
Shut
panel
up.
is that where Chopper
I haven't
was?
seen
his
Dressrosa
island?
in 4 years, Joseph.
Bro, you literally rewatched it like a few months ago. The Coliseum.
I only rewatched the Coliseum part. So
Okay,
that
well,
means
you
I couldn't
technically
see any of the
rewatched part of it.
architecture.
I
couldn't see the architecture.
You would have
It
seen
was
the
just
architecture.
it was just the Coliseum. It
You
was
would
just the
have seen
Coliseum.
the architecture.
It was just the Coliseum. Like that's the only architecture.
No. It's play the goofy phone. No,
Okay.
wrong. I'm going to.
I mean, it's
abuse
just
these sound
people. It's
effects.
just people reacting about. Like, are we ever gonna be able to get this fucking video out? Like, can we
No.
talk? Can we talk
funny,
and not
it's
have
funny.
this
It's
happen
funny.
every time we fucking talk?
It's so
Like, can we talk without having that happen every single fucking time? Like, please. Okay, that kind of called for that.
Okay. Anyway, I think the second panel is from the island that Chopper was on. Don't remember what it's called.
Drum?
No,
No,
he's talking.
no,
He's talking
the
about
time
the
skip
island he
island.
went for time skip.
This is a snow place.
That's
Yeah,
Joseph. That's the
yeah,
third panel.
Yeah, that would
That's,
be the third
Well,
panel.
What panel are you talking
I'm not
about?
gonna try to say it again because last time I said Baltimore, it's Baltimore, right?
That's the
Yeah.
place that Robin went to.
No, that's Frankie.
Oh, is that Frankie's place?
Yeah.
She
Yes.
went to Tequila Wolf Bridge or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both ice places, so I couldn't really tell. I mean, the architecture's the exact same. They have those weird houses.
And then the
Oh,
fourth
yeah,
panel
that's-
is
That's not.
Hachinosu. What?
Obviously, I could tell that one.
What are you talking about, Joseph?
I said that second panel is definitely not the Chopper place.
Is that
Yeah,
Skypea?
I don't think it is either. Actually, looking at them, it might just be some random tropical island
Maybe. I don't know. The
because
tattoos
they're
kind of remind me of the Shandians.
okay, but there's no wings.
Oh, that's true. I
They
don't know.
kind of look like uh Akainu's tattoos.
A
Yeah,
little bit, but I
no,
mean,
It's like a tropical
that's
type place.
valid actually.
Could be his hometown or something.
but Impel Down does get another mention. I will say that. And they're starting to riot a little bit,
Hmm.
and then it looks
Yeah,
like
where's
the
Doflamingo, bro?
well, I don't. That looks like it's just on like level. Is that level 6 or level 1?
Dude, that's like level. That's like the very first level, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
Like
think that's
that
yeah.
looks like the very first level. That might be six though,
Because of
only
just the way
because
it's set
like
up.
yeah, they're honestly kind of like the exact same. Like
Hmm.
though I don't think six had near as many like
Holding cells.
pathways going up.
Hmm.
Pathways going up. Like it was just kind of like on either side of the wall and then some strung over every now and then some cells.
And then we get. It looks like vice admirals reacting to everything,
Yeah, those are vice admirals. Yeah.
and then
Brady, you know
that's
any of them?
Do I know any of their
Yep.
names?
Could you name any of them?
I couldn't tell you a single one of their names, dude. Like I couldn't tell you that.
come on, we're waiting.
I couldn't tell you
Come on,
that.
second.
I'm not a genius like teching, bro. And then we got Kobe saying like some of the most stupid lines ever uttered in One Piece.
Honestly, the buggy part
Luffy-san,
was funny. I love the
I
buggy part, and
I
I'm
have
not.
to stop you from cheating your dream.
I'm not even gonna
Like
lie. That buggy panel on the far right is actually a fire panel, like the
it's
one
our
where it's
world.
yeah, it's our
I like
world.
that one
It's such a
actually. Yeah.
Yep.
fire like angle and everything. And then the just sit part's funny too.
So Blackbeard is about to learn about basically everything, bro. Like the
Yeah.
truth, like
Hmm.
about Poseidon and uh some other shit. To be honest, I don't really
About
remember.
Wano too. He knows about
Hmm.
Wano.
Yeah, well,
The Pluton.
Caribou's been like he doesn't know about Pluton.
I thought he did. Or about the
No, it
walls.
was just Robin and Law, I thought.
Well,
Mhm.
did Robin and Law tell the crew? I don't. Oh, they did. Because Frankie, no, he's right. They told him on the ship. I'm
Oh,
pretty
that's
sure
right.
because
Maybe.
Frankie talks about it because Frankie had the blueprints.
True.
Frankie's like, "Oh, I can't believe Pluton's in a place like this."
Maybe. I don't remember.
I think that's it. No, I think that's true.
But yeah, he knows
I
a lot.
I'd have to go back and check on that, but I think he
Yeah.
actually does. I think he actually does know it's located in Moana.
All right,
Though
and then the
I doubt Blackbeard could do anything to the land of Wano.
no, he's not gonna tear the walls down for Wano.
Yeah, I don't. I doubt he could do anything to Wano. See, now Poseidon's an actual issue, though.
Yeah, that Fishman Island is definitely an issue because
Yeah,
it's right there
other
at
than the
Mary
fact,
Jaw.
yeah, other than the fact that like none of Blackbeard's main officers can swim,
Hmm. Well,
so they
Aokiji
still
can
have to get
also
down.
freeze water, but San Juan Wolf can also just walk. They would
Yeah, no,
need a
he can just
coded ship
walk.
really to get down there. Okay, anyway, the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
panel is Emeth and Warcury, and it looks like Emeth gets hit and the broadcast goes out. And then let me see.
I'm just burping. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, what is it? Zoro and then Ethan Barron squaring up. Fire. This is a W panel.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
then you got the typical silly eyes popping out of their head.
Yes. I think I'm gonna be for real. Like going through this chapter, I feel like we understand now why some people apologize to Joy Boy. Like you know how in Fishman
Yeah,
Island
no,
there was
I
the
agree.
apology. I think it makes sense now because Emeth says something about failing to make him king,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's where the apologies come from.
Well, I mean,
Well,
I,
I'm like specifically like
that
this
that
man I.
sounds very like, I don't know. That sounds very obvious.
Okay, my fault. I'm trying to give some commentary.
Okay.
I'm just trying to talk about the chapter.
Like
Once
I feel
we,
like very
okay. You
common.
see, the next part though. You see the next part with the knot. I saw
It
a
was
clip.
shown in with area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that with area where like the wind knots
Mm-hmm.
and how like they stored wind in that, and then that when it comes undone, it comes out. So I saw that as well, and how like that was shown here with
Mm-hmm.
Conquerors hockey, and I thought that was really cool.
I think it's just an interesting concept, just in general, like how something like that can be stored within a knot. Which obviously
Yeah,
there's
I
no
agree.
logic to it, but like
Yeah.
I think just the concept of that, like it was obviously shown, and I feel like it was more of just a opportunity to make a callback to something. And
I like how Emmett laughs in this scene, though.
yeah,
hmm
but the hockey part, I it's really interesting how it plays out because there's a lot
I
of different
agree.
kind of like things that could be going on that we really just don't know yet, but we'd have to reason through it if that makes sense.
So,
So,
Ethan, do you
oh,
remember when all the leaks were talking about how there's a new type of hockey?
I do, and I
Do you
don't
remember?
think
You
that's
think?
true.
Okay, I was
I
about to
don't
ask. Do you
actually
think
think
that's
so.
what's happening, or is it just
I haven't
Conquerors?
seen
I
that.
think it
What are you guys
is
talking about? Wait,
like
before you keep going, what are you guys talking about? I haven't
There
seen
were
that.
there were leaks that are saying that there's a new type of hockey in this chapter.
yeah, and
What does that
I
mean?
well they
Like
were
a
saying it was
different like?
because it was stored
Yeah,
in the
different.
knot and just how strong it was, and I really don't think it's a new type of hockey. I
Oh
think
no,
it was
I think he's just kind of like Shanks,
yeah, I think
where
it's just
like
advanced
he just
conquerors,
has
just like
an
super concentrated.
overwhelming conquerors hockey ability. Like
hmm
he's just that
Because I mean,
guy
to be
basically.
fair, he was the first pirate. Like he had to have kingly ambitions.
Right, right.
So, and I mean, just I don't know if your conquerors hockey gets stronger as your like passion grows because like you would
Like
see
yeah,
other
there's really
characters who like are super passionate who would have strong conquerors hockey.
yeah, no, there's
Like
really no like I obviously I feel like they have to qualify. Like I
yes.
feel like it has to it when they get Conquerors hockey, it shows they have a chance, you know?
Yeah.
So like you could have the dream. Like there's so many people who dreamed of being the Pirate King, you know?
Mhm.
But only a handful of them have Conquerors hockey because all of the ones that are at the top have Conquerors hockey.
And it's kind of
And
like just oh, sorry.
I just think that's like once you like gain it, it's kind of like a sign that like you qualify. You know, like
It's a
you
weird
have
way of
a
putting it. Just
I I I mean
I just take it like
there's
literally like if you have conquerors, you are some of the like you're top cream of the crop obviously, but like you
well
have the
yeah,
ability
but
to conquer whatever challenge you're trying to face. Like Zoro could conquer like all the swordsmen. I guess that's a weird way of saying it, but
Zoro
he could.
didn't get it though until he shown that he could control Enma, which was
Hmm.
something that Odin could control, and he had conquerors.
Yeah.
Like once Zoro was able to like use Enma, he was able to unlock Conquerors hockey and advance Conquerors hockey at that actually.
Hmm.
And I think he basically it's kind of like he didn't have a chance of being the world's strongest swordsman before he got Conquerors hockey. But now that he has it, it qualifies that he could actually stand a chance now. In my opinion, Conquerors hockey is a form of qualification as well. I
Yeah.
definitely think it's a form of qualification.
And I forgot to mention this, like, but a very overlooked thing in that whole entire panel is the fact that Emmett says D again. So there's
Yeah.
huge
Oh yeah,
importance
yeah,
to
no,
D.
he recognizes that's like that's the first thing he recognizes is
Like,
that it's D.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he calls it a rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
A nostalgic rhythm.
Well, he's talking about.
He's talking about the heartbeat. Yeah.
He's
He's
just talking
talking about the drums.
Drums, yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about the drums there.
It's not referring to the D. But. Bro. Okay, anyway.
Don't die. I won't let you die.
The
Bang.
Conqueror's honky.
Honky?
Honky. Hockey.
Honky? Like that? Like
Yes.
honk?
Okay. Something super important about that is I think the way to fight the Gorosei is definitely with like advanced conquerors.
Well, I mean, we already knew this. Like, well, I assumed this. I guess it just wasn't confirmed. Their devil fruits are easily connected, and so Conqueror's hockey dispels devil fruits. Like, you know, a massive amount of hockey dispels devil fruit.
Yeah, it was shown with law.
So
like that's what I
yeah.
Like,
so like that like ability to bring them all into one location. Like that's the reason Saturn was still there. That's the reason Saturn wasn't blown off. Was because Saturn was still originally in that spot, but they were basically summoned from that spot due to their devil fruit abilities. So the Conqueror's hockey basically was just able to send them back because it dispels devil fruit abilities.
Yeah, Mars finally got to sit down. I forgot to say that. He actually got to sit down for once.
Like, that's the only reason they're back there is because, like, hockey dispels devil fruit abilities, and the reason they're able to get over there is because of their devil fruit abilities in the first place.
Yeah. Because he actually went there, and that's kind of what we're talking about. He went there physically, but they were summoned through the circle.
The reason Saturn is still there is because, you know, he was there originally. Like, he actually was he got on a ship and, you know, went there. Have you seen the theory? I'm sorry. I always forget these elders' names. I know Ethan Baron, Saturn. That's honestly it, for real. Warkery. I know Warkery.
Jupiter.
Which one was the one that people were saying could, like, betray them? There's
Mars.
a theory. Yeah, there's the theory that one of them could betray. That's the one sitting down, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, their names are hard to remember, for real.
But okay, one thing I thought was weird was the fact that Emu felt Joy Boy's hockey. I think that's kind of unusual, just given the circumstances. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, yeah, there's like, it's a huge amount of hockey dispelled at once. It's such a like tight, confined space, kind of like a bomb.
Well,
I guess.
I feel like,
And it doesn't make sense that he would feel hockey that strong, especially how much we hype him up to be like this super great, strong final villain, and he's at his knees in Marriedwall, right?
We don't even know if they're a boy or a girl yet. Most people think Emu's a woman.
It could be.
I think Emu's a woman, actually. Because Emu is very short. Emu's very short, and if we go
But also,
Wow.
I think one
we're
thing
getting called.
we also
Anyway,
missed
wait. Before you start, I want to finish what I'm saying real quick. Emu's like really short, and also if you compare their outfits, you see that servant that's running over there.
That's what I was about to say. The servant.
Their outfits are, you know, they're similar. Like, you see that she has a head, or he or she has a headdress, just like that servant over there. So I feel like the theory that Emu is a woman is very, very likely. Anyway, also the servant is kind of weird to me because I feel like that servant. I don't know if that servant could be important or not, but it's as far as my understanding was, I only thought the 5 elders knew that or who were aware of Emu's existence. I didn't know that she had a direct, or he or she had a direct servant.
Now, there's the chance it could be a holy knight, but it's not entirely likely Because I feel like if
Yeah, I doubt
anybody's
a
going
Holy
to
Knight.
know, it's going to be the Elders and Holy Knights, the
Yeah,
two top ranking people. So, or it could just be a servant. I mean, hey, that it's a possibility.
yeah, it could just be somebody handpicked.
Hmm.
I love how they draw Emu's eyes, though.
It kind of reminds me of I know a lot of people say it, but Mihawk in a way.
Mm. Yeah,
But yeah, there's a lot of
Emu is
questions.
Mihawk's ancestor confirmed, bro.
There could be a lineage to it. I mean, I don't know where I was about to go with that. I lost
Makes
all train of
complete
thought.
sense, man. Makes complete sense.
I don't know. I feel like there's
Like, think about
bloodlines
it. Think
that are
about it.
like absurdly strong. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, think about it. Shanks and Mihawk were battling against each other, and Shanks is a Holy Knight descendant, and Emu is basically God. So
hmm,
like, it's basically just like they're trying to figure out which one's stronger. You
sure.
know?
What?
Honestly, I think it's a W theory. I think you guys are hating. Like Tony Chop Jiro.
Bro, I was gonna mention that.
No, do not mention that.
I was about to
we
say that.
we will talk about Tony Chop Jiro in a
We're
bit.
saving the most important stuff for last.
I hate those stupid
Tony
theories.
Chop Jiro will come out at the end of this
You
at the
gotta
end of
give
this video.
context if you're gonna bring that out, like whenever you explain it. Like
I don't even remember how
it
like
was, it
Joseph
was, it
start.
was on the Instagram
Oh, it was
chat.
that poll. It was that
Yeah.
poll.
Who's
Okay,
gonna
anyway,
betray?
anyway, anyway.
Yeah. Oh, we'll talk about it later. Talk about it later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Sunny hits the ground. It's in the water. They made
Yeah,
it. They're
Luffy
with the
has no
crew.
clue why they're missing. Uh, I don't know. He doesn't. I don't. Luffy. I don't think knows like as much. We obviously see this world wise. Luffy doesn't know near as much as other characters
No,
because one, he doesn't pay attention to the news, and two, they're honestly kind of behind if you think about it.
they really are, man.
Like, because they have no clue who the man marked by flames is, yet Kid, who got one shot by
Shanks.
Shanks, had a lead.
Hmm.
Like, Eustace Fraud got destroyed.
It was a good. It was a good. It was a good animated fight. Well animated.
A fight? It was not a fight. It was a
Well,
swing
they
of a
made it.
sword.
They made it like 4 minutes long, so I can't complain. So that's close enough to a fight. Like I honestly thought the intro was the whole fight for Egghead, but I mean, hey, they did it. They did it justice.
Yeah, and see, the Giants don't even know, too. A robot with hockey? How did that make them go away? Like,
Yeah, they don't know the fact that they were summoned because they came way later. But anyway,
well,
the
they
flashback,
saw.
the like
No, they
the
saw.
biggest part of the whole chapter is the flashback.
Oh, wait, did they see?
What? No, no, they came
The
after the
Giants
fact.
didn't see. Was it just Luffy? I think it was
Yeah, the
just
Luffy
Luffy. You're
saw him
right.
get summoned, but the Giants came after the fact. Like they
And then we
saw
get we get Joy Boy silhouette, which is like so W.
that is such a
Mhm.
W. Now, one thing I thought about is that it really reminds me of Frankie's Iron Pirate. Like that's really what Emmet reminds me of, and I feel like it's a direct parallel to that. You know, I feel like
Think
Joy Boy's crew is
I
going to
think
be a parallel to the Straw Hats crew.
oh yeah,
Like we're gonna
100%.
the
Yeah.
characters are going to be like not like one for one, obviously, but like they're going to like be
But who would
very
you
very
who would
closely
you
related.
consider Zunisha then? Chopper?
Chopper.
Yeah,
Tony
probably Chopper.
Chopjuro.
Tony Chopper?
Maybe that's what
Yeah, and
Chopper's gonna
honestly,
betray him,
that
so
that
he's gonna
makes
get
sense.
punished, and he's gonna have to
That
walk
makes
in the
sense
ocean with
that
his
The
sword in
Chopper
his
monster
could
hand.
form.
be. It makes sense that Chopper could be tied to Joy Boy's crew because if you look at Emmett's arm right there, that's the same design that Chopper has on his hat.
It is, but also it kind of reminds me of Alabasta too, with the X's on the wrist or whatever or hand.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't even think about that.
And also he's kind of wearing overalls like Usopp. Like I ain't even
Honestly,
gonna lie.
Joy Boy looks so much like Luffy here.
He honestly does, but
With the cloak and the hat.
mhm,
I mean, it literally feels like I'm looking at a silhouette of Luffy sometimes, like in some of these.
mhm,
And also, to me, this kind of, I don't know, obviously One Piece size comparison is not good at all.
mhm.
But this kind of makes me feel that is like he might not be a giant.
He's definitely not a giant. But the
Yeah,
thing
you
is
know,
that it's just that the straw hat seemed huge, like in Mary's Wall. But there's also the
right.
fact that you brought up that Emu could just be really small. But
I
also,
think it's
I've
just
seen.
it's Emmett's straw hat because like Oars had a straw hat, so like why doesn't Emmett have a straw hat? So it's just Emmett's straw hat.
Are you talking about Little Oars Jr. or like Oars?
Yeah, Little Oars Jr. Yeah.
Little Oars Jr. didn't have a straw hat. He had a
Oh my
what are they
gosh,
called?
it is a straw hat. It is a hat made out of straw. Chat. It's not a one for one straw hat with a red ribbon. It's just I don't know what their hats are called.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I
I'm
don't know
trying to
the name
look
of
up
them
what
either.
it is.
But it's a hat made out of straw. It's a straw hat.
Ooh.
They're known as I'm not gonna try to say it. Rice hats, patty hats, or coolie hats. But they're like pointed hats. Is what
I
they are.
like how I like how alive Emmett feels in this backstory.
Yeah, it actually like makes him feel like he's alive and not actually a robot, you know? Like he's just
Because,
another person.
yeah. Because I mean in this part of the like when we've seen him so far, it kind of just felt like it was a will talking. Like it was just he wasn't really there in the head. But like
Hmm.
when we go back here, like, you know, he's showing like emotions and stuff. Like
Personality
you see
kind
his
of.
exactly. Well, the chapter ends there.
It does. But
Someone in the comments also said, "Look at that X on his arm. That's how you know he's a true homie forever." Someone else caught that. Crazy.
I hate that I'm screen recording because like I'm on TCB scans W website,
Yeah.
but the ads are not a W.
Ooh.
Well, that's the end of that chapter. I mean,
I can't get rid
thoughts,
of it.
reflects.
Good chapter.
Let's skip
I
back
have
to
an
the
hour
comments.
of gameplay playing in the background. We're gonna need some more.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
need to
need
get
more.
rid of this. It's taking 60 gigs of my computer. Like I need to get rid of it. We're not gonna just read the chapter and be like, all right,
Okay, and
we're done.
a lot of the comments talk about the silhouette of Joy Boy like from behind whenever like
Yeah,
you
it
see
kind of looks
Emmett.
like Shanks too. Like Shanks, young
Well,
Roger. I mean, it's literally just a parallel of anybody who's worn that straw hat. Like they just look
hmm
like him.
well, what I'm seeing is people are saying like, oh, he looks like he has a wooden leg and a like a wooden hand and stuff like that, which I think the hand is like just over exaggerating, but I could see the wooden leg. You know what I mean?
Let me go back to the. I just thought his legs were very skinny. Like
Yeah, the perspective is really bad on this.
Shank's legs are like very skinny too. So like I just kind of assumed it was like something like that. I'm gonna go back to the panel real quick. I already closed out the entire chapter. Okay, I'm back. Um, yeah, no, that one on the right could definitely be a peg leg.
hmm And a lot of people are saying that he could be like a buccaneer, but he doesn't have the buccaneer physique. That makes sense. Like he's not a big body. He's not a big body. He
Yeah,
looks just more like a normal
someone's
person.
saying that his size is the size of Emmett's head,
Hmm.
which that's not really true because you know
Perspective.
it's how the perspective is. Like that guy has no idea how perspective works. So I'm gonna call him out. VP Mega Buster, you're fucking stupid. Okay. Um.
Now,
Jeez.
one thing though, is that he could very well be a Buccaneer because of how strong the connection between the Buccaneer race and the story of Joy Boy is. Which you could also argue the same exact thing for the Giants, but that's more of like Nika in a sense.
Right, right.
And
I just think it's very. You shouldn't be like. We shouldn't be doing shit about like size comparison because One Piece size
it's
comparison
horrible.
is it's horrible. I mean, so, don't we should not be basing shit about size comparison.
hmm
So yeah,
I'm just looking through these comments now to see if there's anything people are mentioning. There's a comment on here that says Polly's getting gassed up this chapter. Imagine if you just had a bunch of knots that stores conquers honky. I keep saying it.
you
Hockey.
said honky.
I know. I keep rolling my tongue
Did you
like
see the
to say it.
dude who Did you see the dude who uploaded the panel of Crocodile saying "just sit" and then someone said put the fries in the bag at
Yeah.
panel.
Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention though is when I was talking about Emu earlier, about how he, she, it felt it from Mary Joie. The thing about that is that
I'm
there's a
sorry. I just saw the
am I
panel of Kobe again, and I'm actually so
you
mad at just
angry
seeing
again?
it. Like I just can't believe that. Like I hate this. I have to stop you from achieving your dream. Like that's just that's so clown.
It's
Anyways, keep going. Keep
okay,
going. That's just so clown.
but about the what's it called? There's a lot of different things that kind of go into that, but either A, he just he, she, it immediately recognized that presence. You know what I mean? Like so like an overwhelming kind of like the I can't speak. Okay, you know the feeling that Conqueror's hockey gives off. I did not say it again. Hockey. The feeling that Conqueror's hockey gives off, it's like that overwhelming pressure and presence, right?
Right.
Okay. So either A, it's just feeling that presence again of somebody that caused Emu to feel that way. You know what I mean? Just like someone who's so overwhelmingly powerful and just being there in person,
Oh no, dude.
feeling that.
It's 100% just PTSD. Like that there's no other explanation for falling to the ground suddenly and shaking after something like that happens. And it actually, now that I think about it, it does make sense that Emu felt it, because if you go
Mm-hmm.
back, right?
Yep.
Go back. You see them teleport, and when they teleport back, like the circle that's teleporting them back, there's Conqueror's hockey coming off of that circle.
The one that teleports them back.
Look, I'll show you real quick.
Oh, I see
Oh,
it.
yeah, I see
Good
it. I see
catch.
it. Yeah.
There is lightning, right? That is Conqueror's hockey. That's right there. So now it makes sense that Emu felt that,
Mm-hmm.
because there's Conqueror's hockey coming through that circle
Oh,
right
wait a
there.
second. Wait a
Mhm.
second. Look right next to that panel, like the one right before that. You can see the lightning above Mary Joie as well. It looks like lightning, I'm guessing.
What?
Is that lightning or is that
Oh, there's
No,
stuff
clouds?
at
that's
the
Oh,
just
bottom
that's clouds.
too.
I'm
Just like a
stupid.
zoom in.
no
That's just
that's
clouds.
clouds, and that's like that's the text like coming
Yeah,
down.
the
Like that's
text.
just the
Well, no, I knew that was the text, but I mean like the way the clouds were textured,
yeah,
that
no,
kind
that's
of
just
threw me off.
clouds. But no, it's definitely PTSD.
Yeah.
That there's no other explanation for that. I mean, shaking and immediately falling to the ground, breathing heavily at the slightest presence, that's PTSD. So that's just Emu having PTSD there,
And
100%.
another thing about what you said earlier about Emu, I honestly think Emu's a man. Like
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I think it's a dude. I think there is a love sausage hanging off that thing.
I,
Like
I just disagree. Like
no.
there's nothing that points to Emu being a man. There's more that points to Emu being a woman.
Well, so I kind of like think about it. What was it? That one chapter where Emu's looking at the portrait of Lily, what we assume to be Lily. I feel
Right.
like there's a lot of like animosity and tension between that, but it's almost kind of like
Right.
a romantic kind of tension.
Well, that's just guessing. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's
at the
just
same
guessing.
at the same time, you could be like, wow, there was animosity for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
But you could look at it as like a jealous girl behavior. I mean, there's there's nothing that ever implies that
It's
they had
romantic.
a
Yeah.
relationship like that.
Well, no, I don't think there was like a relationship between them. Like I'm not implying that, but I feel like there was an interest, like a one-sided interest from it. Because it's very clearly kind of implied that
I don't.
Lily obviously was like for the cause of whatever Joy Boy was for,
Yeah, because Lily was the only one who qualified for the Celestial Dragon spot, but
and then
still
left.
didn't ascend. She didn't.
Mm-hmm.
She kept her regular kingdom. It's like all the other kingdoms. They put in a family, a stay-in family
Yeah, which would
that became
like the Don Quixote
royalty.
family that they did the
Yeah,
same thing.
exactly, exactly.
I lost my train of thought. I just forgot
But I
every single
I,
thing
I
I was
don't
thinking of.
I I mean I really don't see Emu being a man. I don't
Oh,
see it. There's not many powerful women in One Piece.
Boa,
Um, you got Big Mom,
Yamato. Well,
Boa
Yamato
Hancock.
identifies as a man, so I probably shouldn't say that.
Well, actually, Oda
It
confirmed that
it
like
depends on how you
well,
read
not
it.
she, he. Oda confirmed that he's a woman, like, but pronouns are he, him.
Hmm.
That's how
Well,
it is.
obviously, it's, it's
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 very, it's
obviously
very,
a woman, like
it's
biologically,
very
but like
confusing.
it
But
it's just how you.
overall, yeah,
I guess it
overall,
really is
it's
just
just
how you read it because obviously the identifying as a he stems from the idea that Yamato thinks he's Odin.
they're Odin. Yeah.
Yes, which Odin was a male,
All right.
but
Well, no, it's like confirmed in a Viva card, and like Oda was actually put on blast for it. Like people are like, "No, he's not a woman. He's a man now." But
Bro made the
yeah,
character.
yeah,
well, I
exactly.
mean,
That's
it's clearly a woman, but it's a he, like he him.
exactly. It there. Yeah, it's honestly confusing.
Kaido
It's
even
about
addresses Yamato as a he.
yeah. Kaido says son. All right.
Yes.
Kaido respects pronouns.
Yeah, that he was a terrible person, but at least he did that.
He respects pronouns. He
So,
may
like,
he may slaughter
if any
he
viewer
may
doesn't
slaughter
do that,
innocent
like
civilians, bro. But like,
starves people, causes them to
yeah,
eat
he
like
may do
smile
that.
pigs,
He makes puts them in prison to work in a weapons factory the rest of their
completely
life.
destroys a
He may
nation just to make it like a
he might
pirate
do that,
name.
but he respects pronouns. So like,
So if any viewer does not respect them, they're obviously worse than Kaido. Like they're just
exactly,
10 times worse than
exactly.
Kaido. Like it's no competition. Like
Yeah,
you
honestly,
could
I
be
just
a
call
saint.
Yamato because I don't understand and I don't really want to misgender the character too much. So
Well,
like
it's
I
kind
just
of
call
like
Yamato.
it's like a Morley situation. Like I don't want to do that with Morley
Morley?
because I feel like I'm gonna mess up when I do it with Morley.
Yeah,
And obviously it's a
like
fictional character, but at the same time it's like, man, I don't want to get it wrong, kind of thing.
you want to respect what the author has put into like
Yes,
the character itself, you know.
but I didn't know that for the longest time about Morley. Like I
Oh
really
yeah,
Shout out
me
to
and
didn't.
Joseph
Morley.
told you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
me and
told
Joseph had to
me.
tell you. Yeah,
Like
I
I
remember that.
genuinely don't remember when it was
First
mentioned.
person to escape Impel Down.
Exactly. It's just
I
it was
don't like
so
that
early
plot point.
on.
I don't
It's
like
so
that plot
early
point.
on that they didn't document it.
It's such a horrible plot point. No offense, but
It's not though.
they wrote Shiki to be the first one to escape Impel Down, and Shiki was this Rocks pirate member, and it kind of just adds to that layer of like who the Rocks pirates were and like how they were super infamous and all this stuff, and then it's like, oh yeah, Morley was actually the first guy to escape, and it's just like, why? Obviously it adds character, but I
Honestly,
it makes more sense like the
I
fact that
think
he founded
I think it
five and
was
a
a
half.
yeah.
It
That's
could
what
have
I
been
think
left
it
at
was.
that,
I
but I
think it
mean
was a
it makes
mistake.
sense. Like
Like it was
yeah,
basically like he made 5.5 right?
Mhm.
Like Oda did. Oda made 5.5, and he didn't really think about like how to justify the making of 5.5.
But
Like
he
it's a
didn't want to say
stone
it was
it's a
Big
stone
Mom Tom.
layer between other layers. Like you can't really excavate that
And it's kind
without
of just
them.
like, why is it there? Like, it's definitely not
Exactly.
intentional.
Exactly. I think he really just needed a reason to be able to explain it.
Yeah, but I feel like it takes away from like the kind of like the mystery of Shiki outside of Strong World.
I honestly disagree. I really don't think it's that deep. Like
I take it personal. It
I
really
I
offends me.
don't think it's that deep, being honest.
No, but it's just kind of weird in my opinion because he wrote it to be Shiki was the first one, and then it's like, well, it wasn't documented, but it was actually Morley. It's just like,
I was
okay,
gonna point this out. Shiki is a Rocks pirate, and so is Gloriosa.
Gloriosa is.
It's the old granny in the
Yeah,
Island of Women.
it's what the great grandmother of Boa, technically, or
I I
assumed to
don't
be,
know.
if it's a direct lineage.
3 generations before Hannah,
Well, because
before Boa Hancock.
there's Boa, that new empress we
It's
learned about,
it's three
and
generations
then
before Boa
there's
Hancock.
Shaki, and then there's Gloriosa.
Yeah, 3 generations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so great grandmother, assumably, or great aunt, something, great aunt. I don't know. Somewhere along that lineage.
Okay, this is like very like out there, but like when do you guys think Axan Morgan is coming back?
Mm,
Hmm.
I'm
I
gonna say
feel like
never.
I agree with Joseph,
Well,
but I feel
see
like
the
he's gonna
thing
show up in a
is
cover. He's gonna show up in a cover.
Yeah,
the
probably
thing
like an
is
SBS.
Yeah, an SBS or a
you
cover.
gotta understand though, like everybody from that point in time has like shown up again. Except him.
Not
Daimon.
Daddy Masterson. Daddy Masterson
Daimon
wasn't
has
shown.
literally been shown
Yeah,
with
Gaimon
Oh
has been
yeah,
shown.
true.
Like he literally was recently shown.
yeah, with his like girlfriend or
I have
whatever.
short-term memory.
But
Who's a
Morgan's
character that
bro or
wasn't shown?
Morgan bro? Accent Morgan bro?
He
What'd you
hasn't
say?
been shown. Yeah, he
Who
hasn't been
hasn't?
shown. No, I was
Who
saying I'm
hasn't?
trying to think. Brady, I'm trying to think of who hasn't. I said I was thinking of people who haven't been shown.
Oh yeah, well I'm obviously right. You don't have to sit there and try to discredit me because you're not
I
going
Okay,
to
mean,
be able
hold up.
to.
technically, Johnny and is it Yosuke? Or he technically,
Yosaku.
yeah, Yosaku.
They're in
They
a they're in
technically
a
haven't.
cover,
They're in a cover, but they technically haven't
and
been
so
shown.
is Kuro. Well, I'm including covers
Oh,
as
you're
well.
including
Yeah,
covers. Okay.
yeah.
I mean,
And
yeah, Morgan.
nobody ever thought Geen and like
We never figured out
um
what happened to Axiom
Don
Morgan. Like he
Krieg.
was being chased down, and then just like they never finished that plot point.
The last thing that we saw of Axe Hand Morgan was when him and Django were literally rowing away from each other.
Yeah,
Like they passed each other
in the
rowing
cover.
aways. Exact in the cover story, which is canon. So
I feel like he's just training up, and he's gonna like come back to be
he
like
comes
one of
back with
the top.
Conqueror's
Yeah,
hockey.
he's gonna have Conqueror's Honky. I said it again. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just gonna like not say hockey anymore. I'm just gonna. It's gonna
We're
be
gonna need like
implied.
we're gonna need a Conqueror's honky count
Yeah,
on the
we're gonna have
screen, bro.
like a count, like a total amount. Like just go. We're gonna have Joseph make a TikTok. It's just like every time I say it, it's like that's the whole video. It's just the different
Honky
times.
honky.
Yeah,
And
honky.
now you're just gonna start clip farming and just saying it
I'm
on
not gonna clip
like
farm. I'm not
you're gonna
Jin-Z.
start clip
I'm not
farming it.
Jin-Z. I'm not gonna do all that.
Okay, anyway, back to what we were talking about, chapter. I just wanted to talk about Axe Morgan for a second.
This is
Love
a
that
valid
guy.
conversation.
Wait, hold up. Quick shout out to Ochoku,
What?
Who?
otherwise known as Wang Z.
Oh, why
And
are you giving
Captain
him a shout
John,
out?
bro. Captain John.
Oh, we're giving a Rocks Pirates shout outs.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing that kind of confused me was
I wish they would show
didn't
that part.
didn't Blackbeard talk about him defeating Wang Zi?
Yep.
And what was the body
Blackbeard,
from?
Blackbeard and Law beat him.
Yeah.
It's all Rocky Port. Like it's all Rocky. That's the Rocky Port incident is the falling of Wang Zi.
Apparently, it was a real pirate. I forgot to put Wang Zi One Piece, and like, bro just came up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just says he was a participant in the Rocky Port incident.
Ochoku. Yeah. I'm gonna call him Wang Zi. I think that's way easier.
Yeah.
But you could just call him Ochoku. So like, yeah. I mean, that's the whole Rocky Port incident. Is the falling of him and how Kobe protected the citizens during that time. And apparently, they say that the incident was orchestrated by Law. So at one point, Law and Blackbeard might have had just like a temporary alliance. I think they mentioned that when they're fighting as well. He's like, "Thank you for helping me bring down Wang Zi." You know,
He had to be a strong pirate, but I feel like I don't know why he's not shown.
I wish they shown a little bit of it, like just a
Speaking of
little
Morgan,
bit.
he's on my. Somebody updated Morgan's page 3 hours ago.
Uh,
I wish I could see where it got updated. It just randomly
it's
got
the
updated.
wait. If we let me go to it.
There's so many photos of Morgan.
I think someone just added an image.
I think it's the One Piece East Blue Brawls because it's like a Roblox photo of Morgan. Like, look at this. Hold on, can I copy and paste it into the Discord? I can't. Let me copy the image. Yeah, here, I'll send it.
I see it. I looked at it.
Yeah, Joseph, look at that. That's the image they added. It doesn't tell me when it was added though. It's just there.
Is that like the official Roblox game?
Yeah, I think it's the official game.
That sucks.
He kind of looks like me without glasses, like from like 7th
It was
grade.
it was added by PK Ulti. They have 1,734 edits. You can go through. You can go through each individual
What did you
edit.
send, Joseph?
That's a Roblox Luffy.
That's just the canon look. What's something else, like relative to like everything that's happened that we could talk about? What was last chapter? Anything important in last chapter that wasn't addressed? Oh yeah, bro did a whole spread of Nami. That's insane. Like last chapters. Let's see, it's just them fighting.
I mean, the last chapter is pretty big because they're talking about the races.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Whitebeard most likely being a Buccaneer. Like it's like 99% sure. Oh yeah, Vivi was shown. I mean, so that's cool. Vivi's not dead. Let's see. Anything else important? It's hard to
We
talk on
already
the
knew
spot.
Vivi was alive, chat.
Well, I'm being sarcastic.
Like, okay, never mind. I was gonna say something, but never mind.
Oh yeah, we could have talked about the mysterious
Joseph?
person from Joseph.
Joseph.
What?
What if Ethan decided to like show that?
I'm gonna put it on screen.
I'm on
I can't.
Aokiji's side of that.
I don't know.
I can't drag it on screen, bro.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm also on Aokiji's side. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely on Aokiji's side. I got it.
He's a brother.
He's a brother.
You cannot be saying that, Joseph. You are like the last person who needs to be saying that.
Anyway.
He's like he didn't want us to point it out. He's trying to change the topic. Anyway,
Tony Chopjiro.
Oh,
okay, yeah, y'all explain that.
Okay, so I was at work, and during work, I sometimes I get really bored, so I ask them to send polls. I don't remember who sent the poll. I do remember that the poll was who's the Straw Hat that's most likely to betray Luffy. Then it wasn't, and it excluded people who already like quote unquote betrayed, like Sanji, Robin, Nami, excluded those type of people. So me and Joseph went and answered Chopper, and Ethan answered Jinbei, and then me and Joseph proceeded to clown him for answering Jinbei.
Jinbei is such a valid answer.
It's not.
Hear me out.
Though.
Hear me out at the end. Y'all explain Chopper's.
And I'll completely explain like why you're wrong. But anyway, we were saying I'm gonna go back through the Instagram while I'm talking so I can actually quote direct sayings here. So while I'm scrolling, I'll do what I can do off the memory. Tony Chopjero. So obviously the polls and all of that, and we get to about basically saying why Chopper is the most likely to betray. And I'm actually giving legitimate reasons here. I'm saying that, during Return to Sabaody, Chopper expresses his desire to leave the crew, meaning that he would just leave if Luffy ever did something on that level. Like Chopper's going to be the first to leave because he immediately is like, yeah, I can't participate in this anymore. And then, yeah, you can make the same argument for other characters being like, yeah, if Luffy changed, then they just leave. So you can make that same argument. But the key factor in the difference is between Chopper being a dumbass and the other people, Luffy actually changing. Like, Chopper thought those fake Straw Hats were absolutely real. That's the only reason. So Chopper can just be manipulated into thinking like Luffy does something stupid like he was over there, and he just leave. That's the bottom line. I mean, Chopper could basically be squared. Like that's what I told Joseph and Ethan. I told them Chopper has already expressed his desire because of manipulation. And I mean, it doesn't matter if he's manipulated or not to leave. Like he still leaves, And and Squard was manipulated, but Squard definitely betrayed Whitebeard. So Chopper could just be the next Squard. So I'm giving legitimate reasons. And here Joseph comes, and Joseph replies, yeah, and not to mention, Tony Chopper is evil. And
Hold up. He's also the one who put the potential fruit in the chest that they found Shanks in. He's the one who did that.
If y'all don't know about the potential fruit, go back to the previous video. We'll leave a timestamp of where we talk about the potential fruit there. But he leaves the potential fruit. And honestly, I don't remember much after that. Joseph, do you remember? Because for me, the Instagram's not loading. I'm trying to go up and see the exact messages. Oh, found it. You said also, okay, this is basically exactly what I said. Chopper is the easiest to manipulate. He could be a Squard if Oda wants him to be. Joseph replies, also, Chopper is secretly evil, but we don't even have to mention that. He said, what else did he say? I said, this is what you said. Okay. We know that zones slowly change someone's personality, and humans are violent and greedy. So Chopper is slowly becoming evil. And Joseph claims that Chopper is a demon like the Gorosei.
Makes perfect sense.
And then I add on to this theory. Let me go down to where I add on. I said, adding on to the Chopper becomes Shanks' subordinate. I said, adding on. Chopper becomes Shanks' subordinate and Shanks tells him to become a doctor because they needed a doctor desperately when they get to Laughtail. And it has to be better than Crocus. So he drops him off at Drum Island, and so that basically he can learn medical techniques. And while Shanks is teaching Blackbeard the method of exchanging fruits, in return, basically he tells Blackbeard to do me a favor And Blackbeard goes to Drum Island. So this is why Blackbeard goes to Drum Island, is because he's paying back the favor that Shanks did for letting them exchange fruits. That exchange fruits part is explaining the potential fruit theory, by the way. And basically, Blackbeard goes to Drum Island, tells Chopper to wait for a boy named Monkey D. Luffy, and to have Chopper join Luffy's crew. So Shanks places Chopper directly there.
Okay.
And I think that's what we got to. And you said, yeah, that's why he wants to find medicine that cures all diseases, so he can cure the disease that got Buggy before Laughtail.
Are you finished?
And that's the last we talked about it. And I said, we're calling it the Tony Chopdro theory in reference to Conjuro being a spy for 20 years.
Can I
And
get
yeah,
my reasoning now?
That's it. And we'll let Ethan talk. And then after that, we'll say exactly what I said and what Joseph was agreeing with to debunk whatever stuff he's saying. So go ahead, Ethan.
Okay. I want you to tell me the exact prompt that we argued. Like, you have the messages pulled up. You have the messages pulled up. Read the exact prompt. Yes.
Let me go back. Most likely to be a sexual predator.
I was about to say that, bro. You just stole the joke.
That's the wrong one.
Most likely to be a sexual predator.
We got Vanderdecken at number one. Anyway, most likely to betray Luffy besides Usopp.
Vanderdecken, Blackbeard, Sanji. That's my order.
That was the poll. Most likely to betray Luffy besides Usopp. And then we agreed to while we were going through it, I'm pretty sure we agreed to get rid of the other guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Who I've already betrayed. So it's most likely to betray other than them. So yeah, most likely to betray.
The reason I picked Jinbei of anybody, I agree that Chopper could easily get manipulated and betray them. But you gotta think, it took 3 episodes for that man to realize that these people were fake. And it took him it took an episode and a half or something like that for him to be like, man,
but
they're not treating me very nicely. And they just completely ignored him. Yeah.
That just proves how dumb he is. That just makes it to where yeah, you're just saying he's easier to manipulate. That it took him 3 episodes to be like, man, these guys are fake.
Yeah.
But it took him an hour.
That's
it took him an hour of real time for us.
But that's what I'm trying to say is that he's stupid.
But
he has no interpersonal smarts. He is all book smart.
Right.
He is super autistic.
Yeah, we said that. Yeah, we said that.
Okay.
We were saying that he's a doctor.
That is the only reason he could maybe betray them. Okay? But Jinbei, on the other hand, the reason I said that he could easily betray them is, one, he's the newest, but that doesn't necessarily contribute the most. That's just one of the points. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you have somebody new, they could. But more importantly, it's Jinbei's ideals. The fact that the justice and the loyalty, swearing your loyalty to somebody who actually has good ideals. And Jinbei made that very clear that if those ideals do not align with what he supports, he will easily leave and betray whoever it is. And not in a backstabbing way, I'm gonna kill you, but we saw it in Whole Cake. He did not question the authority whatsoever when it came to Big Mom. He literally was just let me settle my stuff. I'll be right back. They go to Whole Cake. He's settling his stuff, and he's like, hey, Big Mom, let me talk to you real quick. And he's like, I'm done. I don't like you. I'm done. I found somebody who's better. And she's obviously offended. She's like, why would you do that? I gave you a good position in my crew. And he's like, nah, I'm just not feeling it. Not feeling it.
I think you're glossing over I'm just gonna interrupt you for 1 second. In Whole Cake, it kind of just proves his loyalty even more because he stands before the Soul Pocus, and with his life on the line, he says he's following Luffy, which at that point wasn't even like. I mean, obviously,
I mean, to be fair, hold on. To be fair, her fruit really is only effective if you fear Big Mom. Like, if you don't have any fear,
I mean,
there's not too
yeah,
much her
but
devil fruit itself can do when she does that specifically.
yeah, but there's only a couple of people that it doesn't affect. I mean,
And like I
you
said,
got
it's like he completely and wholeheartedly agrees with the ideas Luffy has. But if there was any
okay.
like deviation, not like any like, oh he's like, I'm not gonna become the king of the pirates, I want to be the prince of the pirates, like not something stupid like that, but like if Luffy did something that Jinbei did not agree with, there's no doubt in my mind that Jinbei would question Luffy's
Well,
authority.
and you said this. You
And
said this
like we said,
on
you could
Instagram.
argue
Okay,
with
wait.
any
You keep going. You
character.
keep going.
You could argue that with
Yeah.
any character. I know that's what you're getting
Right.
at. But I
Right.
feel like of any character besides Zoro, which was stated in Water 7 with Luffy not standing
That's
up
exactly what I was about
to him.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can keep something like that in mind. I think it's just the fact that Jinbei is very strongly holds that like within himself. That is a big leading factor in how Jinbei acts and just perceives everybody around him. And that's what made me think that he would probably be the most likely, if anybody, to betray the crew.
Are you
And
done?
yeah,
Oh no, you're not.
sure.
You are. You are.
Sure. I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay. So going back to the Instagram, because you're basically just saying exactly what you said on Instagram. I mean, that's
we
kind of
we
like
both
what
did
we're
that.
doing.
We already talked about
Yeah.
it, so we're kind of
Yeah.
just recanting it for a video.
Yeah, we are. We are. Yeah, I mentioned Zoro and Water 7. But the biggest thing is Jinbei has done so much for Luffy even before, and honestly, he's done more for Luffy than what Zoro's done.
That's kind
He
of a hot
that's
take.
not
I ain't even gonna lie.
that's not a hot take. If you think
I mean,
about it,
with
he
his
has
screen
done
time,
more. He
like
has done more for Luffy than what Zoro has done, and I will explain why.
now for directly
His
affecting Luffy, yes,
his
but
first
in
ever
general,
meeting
no.
with Luffy, he frees him from prison.
Yep.
Then we get to Marineford, where Luffy basically, loses the will to fight, and he's practically unconscious. And Jinbei tanks a hit. He tanks a hit that goes straight through his body.
He didn't
From
really do that
Akainu.
for Luffy,
He
though.
went. He did.
Well, I mean, he
He
stated
did.
it.
It was stating for. It was literally. It was. We're gonna keep Ace alive by keeping his brother alive.
But
So
that
yes,
was
he
the
does that for
only
Luffy and Ace.
reason he did it for Luffy. That was for Ace.
But that doesn't matter because in the
I mean,
grand scheme of things,
he owed
in the grand grand scheme of things, he takes a hit for Luffy, and then we get to Riskaina or whatever. Then we get to Riskaina.
Is that
the island?
Oh, the one that Luffy trained on.
Yes,
yeah.
We get to Riskaina, and then Luffy is conscious, going insane, and he's probably gonna kill himself. Jinbei strongly, basically, puts him in his place, tells him that he needs to get his shit together.
One of the best scenes in the whole show.
Asks him where exactly he's there for Luffy on a mental aspect and a physical aspect, and he's not even in the crew yet. Okay. Then we're gonna skip forward.
Just do that every single time you prove a point.
Then we're going to skip forward to Fishman Island, where the first part of the series where a fishman ever gives blood to a human. It's stated that in history. Where basically Luffy would have died from blood loss. There's nobody who shared his blood type with him. And so Jinbei again is not in the crew at this point. And while he is sharing blood, Luffy is like, hey, join my crew. And Jinbei's like, I got shit to do real quick. He has shit to settle. Then, did my Wi-Fi just go out? My screen blacked out.
You're good.
You're good.
Okay. Then, we get to Whole Cake. And in Whole Cake, he expresses his desire to leave an Emperor crew and that he is going to join a Pirate King's crew. And then, hear me out, boys. In Wano, he goes in and he's like, hey, I'm casting aside all my previous achievements. He says, I am just a fletchling. Because he's very formal. He talks about all of the Straw Hats and how they are above him. He cast away his warlord prestige, and he goes as a bottom-ranking crew member. That is what he does. And I just think the way Luffy's personality is, what is more likely? I mean, we've already seen somebody betray an emperor. We saw Squard. We saw Squard betray an emperor. Like, if Squard didn't exist, Ethan, like, maybe your argument would have, solid ground, in my opinion. But because the simple, existence of Squard, kind of just makes it to where it's super hard to think that Chopper just couldn't manipulate and betray an emperor. Because that's what happened to Squard.
Okay, hold up. Back to Jinbei doing more than Zoro. That's actually not a hot take now that I think about it.
It's not. It is not a hot take.
Hear me out.
Zoro is. Jinbei has done more for Luffy than Zoro has for Luffy. Now, obviously, if we're talking about fighting, Jinbei, it's not a hot take. It's not a hot take. You gotta think where Jinbei, what Jinbei has done. I went through every single thing.
I let you talk. Let me talk.
Okay, I'm just saying that whatever you're gonna say, I just don't understand.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah, no, just talk.
Just let me talk. Okay. What I was saying was that in an overall perspective, Jinbei has done more to directly affect Luffy than Zoro has done. I will not fight you on that. But just overall, Zoro has done more for Luffy than Jinbei.
Thank you for doing that, Joseph. When did we get a buzzer sound?
I added it earlier.
That's great. Thank you, Joseph. We needed that.
I think you're right about, obviously, the blood, Marineford, stuff like that. Now, I will fight you a little bit on Marineford because of motives, but I do think partially he wanted to be there for Luffy because he also owed him his life for saving him. But I think
they also mentioned this in. I'm just going to interrupt you for 1 second. They mentioned it in Wano, where they're talking. Marco and Jinbei. They said at that point they were just scrambling, and he's like, "Yeah, the main motive was Ace, but at the same time, the motive doesn't really matter because in the grand scheme of things, he still, took a hit straight through his body. Like for Luffy, it charred his chest.
Mm-hmm.
It just hit his chest. Jinbei, it goes
went through him. Yeah.
It pierces Jinbei. Right.
And
in Wano, Jinbei basically says while talking to Marco, he basically says that it was kind of just worth it. Now it's just okay. I'm just gonna stop. But you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. What I'm trying to say is the Marineford argument. During Marineford, like I said, it was mostly because of Ace, and I'm not trying to defame what Jinbei did because that's crazy. It's great. It directly affected Luffy. I was just trying to say in an overall grand scheme of things, they would not be where they are today without Zoro. Not even close. He's done a lot. That was the point I was trying to make. Not directly affecting Luffy. That's what I'm saying.
There's only a couple instances. I mean, Zoro, nothing happened. I mean, that would have been Luffy's life. But at the same time, Sanji was willing to do that as well. It's just Zoro knocked out Sanji and beat him to the punch.
Well, I mean,
but Zoro, nothing happened. Is basically almost sacrificing his life. So
but you can also argue the same thing with Jinbei. Yeah,
exactly. You could just say the same thing. Then you have Zoro basically telling Luffy to get his shit together, but on a less scale. Like when and Water 7 is
Yeah,
like,
with Usopp.
hey,
Yeah,
get
I was
your
gonna
shit
mention that.
together, be a captain. Like that's on a lesser scale than Luffy basically trying to indirectly kill himself and and Jinbei stopping it. Like Jinbei literally stopped Luffy from committing suicide.
Yeah. And
I
I'm just
mean,
meaning it like
and I get what you're
directly.
saying.
I don't disagree with you. Like it directly
Because
affecting Luffy more. I was
Zoro
just
has
meaning in
been
an
there.
overall kind of like story perspective. Like Zoro has done more to affect the story
Well,
without it like ending with Jinbei and stuff. But you get what I'm trying to say.
I do get what
I'm
you're
trying to
saying.
say just like the way the story progresses. Like Jinbei
I
and
do get what
Zoro
you're
has done more.
saying, but it's not a hot take to say Jinbei has done more. It's
I
really
will
not.
say after this conversation, it's not as hot as I thought it
It's not
was
a hot take,
going through it.
I'll
But
stand by my take.
I
And
just
I
I
guess
don't.
Joseph agrees with me. I guess to me,
Yeah, after
Jinbei
you
is
listed all that stuff.
honestly a top 3 loyal Straw Hat, top 4. I mean, Sanji, Sanji, Zoro, and Jinbei to me. Like after what happened in Whole Cake, there's just no way anything's gonna break Sanji.
I mean,
And
that
then
was like the only
Zoro,
thing that could have broke Sanji was that.
exactly.
And Zoro's obviously shown like how his loyalty is.
Zoro has a great loyalty, and honestly, I'll say it because of Zoro. I mean, Zoro's loyalty towards Luffy, in my opinion, is probably higher than Jinbei's loyalty.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean that's obvious. That's because we've seen Zoro's loyalty shown, since episode like 3 when he's introduced. Episode
Hmm.
2. Like, but I mean, if you think about it, man, like you gotta sit there and think about it. Jinbei has really just he's one of the goats, dude. He is
Oh
one of the
yeah,
goats.
absolutely. And I think it's more of how we just interpret the events that happen in One Piece, like how we read into them. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right.
I think that's more of why we disagree so much is because obviously you read manga a lot, you watch a lot of different animes. You're probably better at interpreting stuff like that than I am. But I'm just doing it
Mm-hmm.
more of like from a literary perspective, like interpreting
A
things.
surface scale.
No, not on the surface. No.
No, well, I was on a surface scale. I feel like if you were comparing them from a surface scale, you would say Zoro is, yeah, you would say Zoro
Yeah,
over
I would just
Jinbei in
say
that
Zoro.
sense.
Like I wouldn't even agree with anything Jinbei. Like I'd just say,
But
yeah, it's
because
Zoro.
I did like a deep delve into Jinbei's character, now you're like, oh, okay, I can see how someone could think about that.
Yeah, and that's why I said that from the beginning that I didn't necessarily disagree with you. I was just saying it was the
Okay,
way I was interpreting it. And I think that's really what it kind of comes down to is the way we were interpreting the same question.
right. It's
Because
just it's just different
we
perspectives.
were looking for two different outcomes. Because obviously
Yeah,
you
two
wanted
different
it to be
perspectives.
Jinbei and I wanted it to be Zoro and we were both obviously arguing our sides, but it was the way we were reading into the question that really kind of
And then Joseph over here is
he's
just
just
like,
spamming the sound effects and kind of like, yeah, man, yeah, like, yeah. That's what he did the whole time.
Joseph over here is like, because me and you like talk like debate about shit way more than Joseph, and then
Y'all are some yappers.
Joseph will just take either side. He'll
Yeah,
go on
he'll
the
just say
Instagram and be
one of
like,
the two sides. He'll be like, no, you're
Joseph would
wrong.
be
Yeah,
like,
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah, Joseph would be like, yeah, I agree with this, or like, let me go back to the chop drill theory.
Yeah,
He
that's
would
like
like
anytime he contributes, it's always something like that, like the chop Duro theory or the
like
potential for. It's
let's see,
that's the
what did
only
I do?
contributions he
That's
has.
why I'm here, really. To
Comedic
He
effect.
talk about.
replies. Every time I said something, he would do is like if he liked that current reply, he would heart that reply, and then sometimes he would slide and say something like undeniable proof or I agree with this too. Like that's all he does. Like if you make a point, he'll just heart the comment. Like this one, I said this was talking about adding on to the Tony chop drill theory. Joseph hearts both replies, and his only reply is brilliant.
But then scroll down a little bit, and I'm adding on to the Tony Chop Drill theory.
You
Which
know,
took you
Honestly, we
Yeah,
should
that is true.
talk more about like the stupid polls that we do in the group chat. Like,
Oh
we
yeah,
should
most
argue
of them are me at work. Most of
which
them are
straw
me
hat
at
would be
work.
most likely to be scammed by a telemarketer. That's such a W prompt. Like, we should talk about stuff like that, actually argue it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
feel
I'd say Luffy. That's what I'm gonna say. Because like that guy is prone to picking up phone calls.
I feel like, well, yeah, he's definitely prone to it, but I feel like it's Chopper. Like, playing
Yeah,
back to what you
Chopper's
said,
dumb.
I think it's
Yeah,
Chopper. Like, he's dumb. Like, he's
I
definitely
agree.
giving you his like, what
It
would they
really
what would be the equivalent of
depends.
like a credit card for like,
It really a berry card? I
yeah,
don't
like a
know.
berry card?
Like it really depends like on what they're trying to telemarket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
if it's like alcohol, I mean Zoro's gonna be more likely to be tricked than anybody
I
else.
think
You
just
know what I'm
from
saying?
in general, it's gonna be Chopper. Like, he's just stupid.
I agree. I think either Chopper or Luffy. I mean, I don't know. It depends on who would pick up the phone call for real.
I feel like Luffy would be the
Like
first one to pick up the phone
Usopp
call, but like,
Usopp wouldn't pick up the phone call because we've seen in Punk Hazard, Usopp and Robin wouldn't pick it up because both of them are like, "Hey, that might be tapped." Like they're too scared to pick up phone calls. But Luffy has no hesitation. He's picked up phone calls in Punk Hazard, Marineford. You know, he just picks them up. He doesn't care. Fishman Island. You know,
yes,
just picks them up.
I'm not reading off that one. That's an insane one. I'm definitely not
What
doing that.
which one are
Which
you looking
one?
at? Which one are you looking at?
I'm just gonna take a screenshot of it. Like, I'm not even gonna read it. Hold on. I can't. That's apparently GIFs.
Oh, is it the rust fruit one?
No, I would say rust
Oh.
roast fruit. I'm not trying to edit that part out.
Just okay.
Hmm. I'm going through this group chat looking for it. Yeah, I found our discussion about Chopper and stuff.
Oh yeah, also going back to that, I remember mentioning this as well. Chopper is one of the only two characters that believes Usopp's lies, other than Luffy. So I just want to point that out, just to also say how dumb he is again. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure, you still then took his fruit. Yeah, he's in that market.
So now that we've actually like come to like the very end of Egghead, what do you think Elbaf's gonna be like?
Oh, we're talking about setup arcs and stuff. Is
Mhm.
the setup arc or not?
The Bonnie retrieval arc.
We talked about
Oh
the
my
Bonnie
God.
retrieval arc.
I
Yeah,
don't think
bro.
that's
We
gonna
need.
happen.
Not at this point, bro. At that point, it was
At that point, it
honestly
was
a
very
valid
likely.
theory.
It was
It was
very
a
likely at that
valid.
point.
It was a. I wouldn't say it was likely, but it's
There's
something
still a
that.
chance.
Yeah, Kizaru could get all of his wounds cured instantly and fly over and swipe her before anybody else could see her.
Saturn is still there.
Bro, now that you say Kizaru, I feel like Egghead was like, it wasn't a wasted potential, but like they could have like dove into like his character so much more. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
agree.
Because either
Especially
because
with his connection to Vegapunk and his
yeah,
nephew
it
being
was just
there.
like boo-hoo, he cried, and then like he's literally never shown up since then. Like, he had one panel since he was taken out by Luffy. Like, I'm
It
pretty sure
was
he shows up
it's him.
one time, and it's just his
Yeah, it's
face.
him. It's him crying, and then there's another one where he's lying on the ground, and then a bunch of Marines are like, help him! He's dying or something like that. He's very injured. Like
Hmm.
we
But
need
like
to
they could have
help."
done so much more with him. Like, they could have explored his character so much more.
I agree,
And I
and
feel like there's
I really want to know like what because for some of the characters we can see how like how their justice has been determined. Like Aokiji was the one we probably know the most about,
yeah.
and we've seen how his justice is determined. Like with Kizaru, we just have no idea why he silently follows orders. Like he doesn't have a mind. Kizaru is basically just a robot
Yeah.
because he doesn't have his own thoughts on justice to me. It's basically down for a T orders, like down to a T order. Like you know how Saba Odi Archipelago, good
I
example.
mean, it kind
The
of
main the main the main goal was to capture Luffy.
mm-hmm.
And even though he subdued Hawkins and some other supernovas,
Drake.
he lets them go because the goal
It wasn't
was
the
just to subdue
directions.
Luffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like
That's it.
it also shows that like Kizaru knows about Nika. Like he's close with Vegapunk, but like it's so weird like how they wrote like Oda wrote his character. Like I think either A, he's gonna get something kind of like in between Egghead and Elbaf, like kind of like where he's kind of just like determining that sense of justice. You know what I mean? Kind of like how we saw what's his name? Isho. How we saw Fujitora. I couldn't think of his name. I don't know why I thought of his
Yeah.
other name before I thought of Fujitora.
W theory. Kizaru is gonna be executed at the end of this arc by the Holy Knights, and we're gonna get the
Pink Admiral.
We're gonna get the orange one.
Oh yeah,
The
orange one, not pink. Orange Admiral.
Bro just said pink. Not
The
I
orange
mean,
one.
to be fair though, like that was kind of like a valid line of reasoning. You know what I mean? Just the way it was set up, just with the colors. But it wouldn't
To
make
be an
sense to
orange
me,
one.
like, yeah, for it to be an orange one, like by
No,
the
it
end of the
has to
series.
be. It has to be.
Yeah,
There
just
has to
the
be.
way it is. You know what I mean? Like, with it being blue, yellow, red, and then red and blue making purple, and then red and
And the thing is,
yellow, orange,
yeah.
all that stuff. But I feel like Kizaru could easily leave the Marines. But it's just kind of like, what would he do?
Right.
Because
Right.
I don't think he'd be a pirate. Like, but I don't think he'd be like a Marine, like just going out of his way to like, kind of like Zephyr, like from the movie. Like, I don't think he'd do something like that.
He'd probably just be like Crocus, bro. He sits at some remote part and just like chills.
Yeah, I could see that. But it's just, I don't know. He's such a like a conflicted character.
I
And
agree.
I want to see how he gets wrote. Like, I want to see like how Oda develops Kizaru.
What timestamp are we at right now? How deep are we into the
Goodness.
delve?
We are. I can't even see how long we're into it. Yeah, I don't see how long we're into it.
Uh-oh.
I mean, we're still recording, but oh, I got it. I
It's
can
been
see
close to an hour.
It's been an hour and 22 minutes.
Oh, whoa. I don't have enough gameplay for this.
I mean, hey, it's a great conversation. I mean, like,
we're just gonna have to cut some stuff, bro.
oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot of filler we can cut out and stuff like that, but it's been
Ethan,
really
you're
good
gonna have
conversation.
fun editing this one.
I am not editing this one. I work every single day this week up until Friday.
Bro, I have 40 or not 40. I have 36 hours this week, chat. Like,
well, I guess it's my turn.
Dude, bro gets in CapCut.
Yeah.
He's editing an
That's
hour-long
what I
video
do.
in CapCut.
I don't think you're not gonna edit it with CapCut, are you?
What else am I gonna edit with?
Oh my
Pocket
god.
video?
Okay, but look,
Oh
I
my
work
God.
every day like 11 or 10 to 6, and I'll
Yeah,
probably
you get
go
off
to the
earlier
gym.
than me.
Well, I'll
bro.
probably go to the gym with Joseph and stuff and come home.
I'm
But
tomorrow I work 3:30 to like 7:30, so tomorrow I'll have a decent amount of time.
yeah,
What's
But
a
after
good free editing software?
there's not any good ones without having a huge watermark on it.
I mean, you could
Hmm.
pirate. You could be
Arr!
Luffy.
Yeah, Luffy.
Arr.
Arr.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, pirating's illegal. Don't pirate.
Yeah,
guys.
don't pirate. So
Wink,
support
wink.
support large corporate companies.
Right.
They need your money. They need your
I
money.
love Elon Musk.
I love that soundboard. It's such a great addition for this video.
Yeah, I'm glad you added that.
Yeah, like if we didn't have all this stuff, I feel like it wouldn't have added like that charm to the video, especially
Mhm.
like your theory when we're sitting there going, Like every few seconds, you'd be like, and Jinbei went up to Big Mom and was like, I don't want to be on your crew. And then he left. Like, stupid stuff like that. Like, I feel like that's going to be like a good clip to include online.
Oh yeah, on
You know,
TikTok.
you know what we forgot to talk about? Like I was starting it, but then we got on about the Jinbei conversation.
Right. What
The
was it?
the mysterious dude from the last chapter who was shown on the panel with like the contenders for the One Piece.
Oh yeah,
Oh
Remember? We
yeah.
never
The
talked about that, and
pretty
that
silhouette.
was going to be
important.
like our main talking point for the last video, and then we just never
Mhm.
recorded it. I feel like it's going to be somebody related to Shanks.
Gotta be.
And a
Mm.
lot of people are saying the twin brother theory, but I mean, like, it could definitely be a twin, but it just the way it's either a holy it's a holy night. I'm very confident it's at least a holy night.
Mhm.
Very very minimum, it's a holy night. But just the way
Oh
they
yeah,
draw the sword
just
kind
by
of
the way
looks
of the
like,
sword.
yeah,
And the mouth, man. Like, look at that mouth, bro. That's a
it's just
serious
Bogard.
mug.
It's just Bogard.
That's a.
It's
That'd be
just
great.
Bogard.
Yeah, let's
He
pull up
took up
Bogard right now.
Garp slack. He picked up Garp slack.
Yeah, let's pull up Bogard right now and compare the swords.
We're both doing the same thing. Let's see. Let's see.
No.
It's definitely not him. He doesn't have the same kind of hilt or anything.
Yeah,
It's
that is
definitely
similar.
like
That's
Shank's
it.
sword.
Yeah, that is similar to Griffin though.
But I feel like it's a see the thing about the Holy Knights is that like I don't think I don't think they could be all like related in any way. I think some of them are like the figure lens. I think there's going to be two of them if we're going off this theory, but I want to see how they get
Right.
revealed. I'm very very curious about it. Did it say how many Holy Knights there were?
12.
12 Holy Knights. Okay. I would really like to see how they get revealed. Because I feel like that could be a major plot point for the next arc. Is
Mm-hmm.
like some of them being revealed. Because I feel like that would set up a lot of
With how many we get
lot
to
of
see
stuff.
just how many factions there are here actually.
Yeah.
Um so obviously we got the top 4. We got
The
Marines
Yonkos.
and celebrating? I meant to say separating. Separating the Marines and Celestial Dragons is completely valid.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely different factions to me. Because the Celestial Dragons, I guess, can utilize the Marines, but the Marines can't do anything about the Celestial Dragons. And then the Celestial Dragons are basically just trying to flood the world right now. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
um,
I
they're
think there's
basically just
definitely some truth to that. Like I think the Celestial Dragons
I,
have to know.
they're
There's
they're a
no way they
different
don't.
they're a different faction to me. To me, I mean they separate themselves in general. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously
But to
they're their
me,
own faction. But
I think it's fair to group the Marines in one faction and then group the Celestial Dragons in another faction.
yeah, because
So then
not
you
every
got
Marine
you got
supports the
those
Celestial Dragons.
exactly. I mean, Isho wouldn't fight. Then you got
Garp.
the Revolutionary Army. You got revolutionaries, and then I mean, yeah, you really get to see how there's
There's a
seven
lot of
or eight.
different factions at play when it comes to finding
Yeah,
the One Piece.
there's a bunch of factions here, and I doubt it'd be cool to have each and every individual faction represent itself like at one place. Like how Oda was saying that like
The final war.
this next arc is gonna like basically make Marineford look. I know. I'm not like basically just it won't like Marineford won't even like be compared to this arc after it's done. Is what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just feel like some of these factions might have to disappear.
Oh yeah, there needs to be factions that get wiped out.
Kind of like how like, and obviously when I saw that, and I'm very glad Oda did this because this is it separates. Each of them had a 3 billion berry bounty. Like this is an example. Each of them had a 3 billion berry bounty. Law, Luffy, and Kid.
But he
Um,
separated them by
Luffy,
showing how
yes,
they could
that
hold
Luffy
their weight.
is gonna be the only one who makes it out like in one piece, bro.
One Piece,
One
One
Piece.
Piece, One Piece,
Anyway,
One Piece.
Luke, it's gonna separate. It's gonna separate. You know, because people right now are gonna be putting them on the same tier.
Hmm.
Like in the outside world, they're gonna be grouping all of them together. But after this arc shows the difference between Law and Kid, which has already should have been shown before. Like Luffy deserves a higher bounty than both of them, but it's just the way that information was leaked that it just couldn't be that way, I guess. But this arc shows the difference between them. We've already seen two factions basically just get wiped out. So, you know, I feel like the Holy Knights, we might get a Holy Knights versus Revolutionary Army at some point. That's the
I
one that I
honestly
think is
think
most. That's the one that I think is the most likely to occur first, because I mean, just how active the Revolutionary Army is and how active the nations are right now. That I think
I think
suppressing them would be the easiest right now.
I think every faction at some point, like within the next arc or two, within reason, like arc or two before like a big main war arc kind of thing, is going to
Right.
have some kind of encounter with a Holy Knight. Like
Yeah,
I
there's 12 of
agree
them.
that I agree that the revolutionaries will most likely be the first ones, but I think after this whole incident, you're going to see the Holy Knights kind of get mobilized and dispersed. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
genuinely
and
think
there's
that
a there's
um
a lot of factions here.
mhm.
I'd say there's if you would group them, you got each of their Emperor crews. That's four. You
I
got
would say there's going to be
Marines,
like in groups
five.
of two, honestly, like one or two.
That's what I was. Two or three.
Hmm. And I think that's how
Two
they're
or
going to get
three.
mobilized. Now, I think the revolutionaries are going to be the first ones to meet a Holy Knight. Not necessarily like us know it's a Holy Knight, but I think they're going to be the first ones to encounter a Holy Knight.
No, I feel like if they're gonna encounter one, it'd probably be named.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
I
like
feel like,
it'd be like
and
one
I
of
feel
those kind
like
of
it'd
things
be
where it's
like a
like shown as a
panel.
silhouette, and then like the next chapter
It'd
it's
be
going to
like
be
a panel of like two Holy Knights that are like, I don't know, like floating in air, like something that's crazy, and they're
yeah.
just like looking down at Dragon,
I
like
feel
they're
like
looking down on him.
there's like on clouds or something like that, and like they're looking down type thing. That's like a whole Bleach kind of setup. I ain't even gonna
I
lie.
love Bleach, bro. Speaking, shout out to Bleach, bro. I'm on episode 343.
I'm on episode like 11.
Episode 1, gang.
I literally like just finished the Iran car arc, bro. Amazing. Shout out Bleach. Haven't watched Bleach? Check that shit out for real.
Okay, anyway, about the Holy Knights, right? Um, I feel like the revolutionaries are going to be the first ones to encounter them, but I don't think they're going to be necessarily seen first. Now, the
Right.
first ones I think that are actually going to be named are going to actually meet the Blackbeard pirates first.
Yeah, that is a common trope. I feel like because
Because
and that whole battle's just gonna be off screen, and then
yeah, it's going to be
Blackbeard's
off
just gonna
screen,
be
but
full of blood.
I don't think he's going to take significant damage, but I think his crew is going to take significant damage. Like not like they're completely out of the game, but like they're gonna have to like lay low for a little bit and like plan.
See, the thing about Blackbeard, and Oda states this, if we take these factions into consideration, right?
Hmm.
Buggy, just fucking get rid of Buggy. Buggy's faction is literally Mihawk and Crocodile, and that's it. I
They're
mean, you
putting in the
have
work, though.
Daz
Buggy's more
Bones
of a
as like a
figurehead for
tiny
like fodder.
bonus. You have Daz Bones as a tiny bonus, and like that's
That's
it.
such a tiny bonus. That's
Like a tiny
that's like going
bonus.
to work being like, you got a raise, and it's like a 25-cent raise, bro. Like that's not a
Honestly, more
huge
like
bonus.
a 15-cent bit raise for like something that's just like, man, I'd rather not even have that for real. Like, is that your incentive to keep me?
Yeah,
No, I'd rather not even
it's like
have that.
it's like getting somebody like I don't know, like
But yeah,
what's
I mean, his crew is
Gecko
mostly
Moria.
impel down, like to like
Yeah.
level 2 to level 1.
Bro, just wait until he awakens his fruit.
Yeah, you've seen those
Honestly,
meme manga.
If
Yeah.
he
That's
awakens
fire,
his fruit,
bro.
that would be so fire. Like I feel like he'd actually be strong.
I
But
don't. You
he'd
guys
be
don't know who this
unintentionally strong.
is. You guys don't know who this is, but he'd remind me of Gildarts if he was able to do that. Anybody here knows Ripoff Shanks Gildarts? Like, you guys are kind of goated. I'm not even gonna lie. Gildarts is one of the coolest characters out there.
Nobody knows who that is.
Oh, trust me, people know who Gildarts is. That's Gildarts. It's showing. It's processing. It says.
Oh, that dude. Yeah.
Shanks?
Yeah,
That's what I said.
that's
Rip
just
off Shanks.
That's like an OVA Shanks.
Anyway,
That's
back
Shanks'
to
twin
this.
brother. He made
He
the
remind
Yeah.
he
me.
revealed.
It really remind me of Gildarts though, because Gildarts has like his magic is like cube magic, so it's practically the same thing. Like it just splits things into multiple pieces.
What were we even talking about?
Talking about the factions, and then
Oh, yeah,
I'm
the
going
factions,
back,
yeah.
and then we got Blackbeard, right?
Yeah,
And
I feel like
Otis-
they're gonna be the first ones to
see-
meet Holy Knight.
Blackbeard's crew has room to grow still.
Mm-hmm.
Oda states that like they're still getting used to their powers. I mean, yeah,
Well, it's
Yeah,
stated with Van Augur. when
yeah,
he was
he's
trying
saying
to
that he's
teleport.
still trying to get used to like so they're still getting used to their powers, dude.
So they're not
like,
at full
they're-
potential.
They're not. Shanks, I think, is at full potential.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I don't think Shanks' crew is gonna ever change. Like
I think I think they peaked. Like I think this is their peak
I
right
think
now.
I think they have. Yeah, I agree.
Obviously Luffy's crew's
Luffy's
gonna grow.
room to grow, obviously.
Buggy, I don't think they're gonna have room to grow. I think
I
think they
don't.
peaked.
I don't think Buggy's crew has room to grow either.
Now Buggy would be the only one I see growing, but like
exactly.
Crocodile
I think
and
Buggy
Enoch,
is
I
the
think they've
only
already
one.
peaked. Now Crocodile, like
Um,
not like Alabaster Crocodile, but like post
No,
Crocodile, like
I'm
what
wet.
we imagine him to be.
No, I'm wet.
But yeah, anyway, first
I love that meme,
Holy
bro.
Knight to be shown besides Figurlin Garling will be probably with the Revolutionaries more of like a silhouette type thing. The first one we actually have an interaction with will probably be with the Blackbeard Pirates. And I feel like that's where we're going to learn the most. And then like a chapter or two later, we'll actually meet the ones that the Revolutionaries met. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's how it's going to be set up. And I think Luffy has the potential to meet one in Elbaf. Like that's how the Elbaf arc kind of ends. Is like a Holy Knight is hunting him down. And that would kind of set up for a villain to be there in Elbaf. Because I don't think there's going to be any villain in Elbaf. And I think we're getting to the point in the story where like there's no cut kind of villain for each arc. Like you go to an island, then there's a villain, you learn about the people, and then fights the villain, and the people are happy. I think Kaido was the peak of that kind of writing. I think now we're getting to a point where it has to be something entirely different, where it's not just he's helping nations, but he's actually
I
helping
agree.
the